Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the channel. We're 2D Toys, and we're taking a look at anything and everything toy related. And if that interests you, you know what to do. Hit the sub button. And if you do, make sure you hit the bell icon also, so you get those notifications anytime we upload a new video. We got a bunch of great content coming your way, like this guy here. And for today's figure review, we're taking a look at the Studio Series 107 Predacon Scorponok from Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And before we get started, just so you guys know, there's only a couple days left on our giveaway, so if you're interested in winning a copy of the DNA Designs upgrade kit for Legacy Toxitron, head on over to that video and comment down below for your chance to win. I'll leave a little sticky up here so you guys can go check that out. Seriously, what are you guys still doing here? Go check it out and then come back. And of course, like we always do, we're going to start off by taking a quick look at the packaging. You got a picture here of Scorponok there, dead center. That looks good. The 107 Studio Series Predacon Scorponok. There's the Predacon symbol. Hasbro, Transformers, Generations, Takara Tomy, and there's the logo for the Rise of the Beast movie. Of course, you see the figure there, dead center, no window packaging, so you can touch all over him. On this side, you got another picture of Scorponok with the Autobot logo. On the back, you got your product shots there. Scorponok in both modes. There's a picture of it with the backdrop, 20 steps, and just a whole bunch of words and stuff. On this side, you got the 107 Studio Series and a close-up photo of that beautiful mug for Scorponok. Deluxe class. On top, you got the Rise of the Beast logo, cardboard hanger on the bottom, just a whole bunch of words. And that's about it for the packaging. We're not going to waste any more time. Let's get this guy open and check him out. And here we have Scorponok open up and out of his packaging with everything he comes with. But before we look at all this, we'll take a look at the figure and some of the details. We'll get him in a little closer here so you can see that head sculpt. Nice molded details here for the mandibles and the horns and everything. You got a little bit of purple paint here, silver on the horns, silver on the mandibles, and some red for the eyes. So that looks really good. A little bit of molded detail here through the chest. Got some purple paint, some gold paint. I'll see if I can get a good look at that. The purple paint's more like a shading and kind of fades into the gray, so that actually looks really good. Got some silver paint up here for the claws on the shoulders. Just purple and gray plastic on the arms. Some molded details here on the crotch piece. Purple legs. Got some more of that purple shading here on the shins with some silver in the middle. That all looks really good. And just purple molded feet. Spin him around here a little bit. You see some nice molded details here for the back of the legs. I assume that's part of the Scorpion mode. And you got some more of this purple shading here on the back, which looks really good with the Predacon symbol done in silver there in the middle. So not bad amount of detail. You can see some more of that molded in skin detail there. I guess it's technically not skin, but some more molded details there. Some silver paint here on the Scorpion legs, down the middle, on all of them, so that actually looks really good. I really like this purple shading that they used. Actually looks really good. I don't know how well that's going to pick that up, but I like the way it's not just painted on. It's more of a shading, and it looks really good with the textures on the back. So decent enough looking figure. I don't mind it at all. But that's about it for details. We'll get this guy out of the way and check out some of the stuff he comes with. And with Scorponok out of the way, we'll take a look at some of the stuff he comes with. Of course, you got your sheet of instructions here. Standard Hasbro instructions. Blue background with your pieces highlighted in blue of everything you need to move. So standard fare there. Those look good. I guess we'll look at this next. You got the tail piece or weapon piece here. Tons of molded details in this all throughout, which actually looks really good. Done in this darker gray, and then you got some more of that purple paint towards the end with some silver paint for the stinger part. Tons and tons of molded details on this. This actually looks really good. And then of course you got the backdrop it comes with. I think it said it was a rainforest scene. Cardboard, picture, logos, all that good stuff. And for its accessory in robot mode, a couple things you can do with it here. We'll spin the figure around, get the peg in the orientation that it comes in out of the box, and you got a port here on the back, and it can just plug in there if you kind of want weapon storage, or if you just kind of want to complete the look of the figure. You can also remove this, set our figure down here real quick, and you rotate this peg so it's facing out. You got a port here on the inside of the arm we can just plug in there, and then the fingers, the two middle fingers, will actually sit in this slot here. And then you have that look going. And he can hold his weapon just fine. And with all that out of the way, we'll look at some Scorponok's articulation, and of course we'll start with the head. It's on a ball joint, so you can get a little bit of up and some side to side out of it. There's a hinge here for transformation, so if you want to get a little higher you can as well. Ball joint in the shoulders. Get you about up to there till the skull pits, and then there's a cut there so you can get the full rotation out of it, if you can get around everything in the back. Bicep swivel up here. Double jointed elbows will get you the full bend, so that looks really good. And a ball joint here in the wrist, so you get your rotation, and you can also get some up out of it. Swivel. Ball joint in the hips. Tight joint in the hips there. Get you up to that far. And get you back the same. And a decent range out as well. Got a thigh swivel. Single jointed knee gets you about 90. And then you got a ball joint here in the toes. Get you quite a bit up. A little bit down. And you get that side to side. And to be fair, all these legs back here are articulated on hinges and everything, but I think we'll save that and look at that a little bit more in alt mode. So that's about it for articulation in robot mode here. Not the best, not the worst. Standard fare for deluxe. And size wise, looks like Scorponok's coming in about 4 3/4 to the top of the head, or the full 5 if you want to go all the way up to the top of the shoulders. And here he is standing next to another Rise of the Beast Deluxe figure, the Wheeljack. And next to the Leader Class Scourge. And finally next to the Beast Wars version of Scorponok from Kingdom. So you can see how they all scale together. Now let's get this guy transformed so we can check out his alt mode. And here we have Scorponok transformed into his alt mode, and most of the details are the same, but we'll take a quick look at him anyways. Get him in here a little closer so we can see the head sculpt there. Of course, head sculpt is exactly the same in this mode as it was in robot mode. See that Predacon symbol there, and more of this purple shading. You see the silver claws come forward here. Get a little bit of detail there inside the claws. And the silver paint on the legs. And the legs in the rear are the same as the robot legs. Silver paint, purple paint, and the same purple feet. You see the tail attached there. Get a really good shot here of the gradient. It goes from this gray, and the silver gets a little, the purple gets a little darker there towards the end. And then you get the silver for the stinger, and nice detail on that as well. Actually, nice detail all the way up the tail. That all looks really good. And then you get the same junk underneath here, although it cleans up really well. I guess it's easy to do when you're using the same head, a lot of the same parts. Just real quick here, articulation wise, these are on the same shoulder joint here, and this joint that's extended out of the body here for the claws. So you get some rotation here, and some forward and back on this ball joint on a hinge. Hinge here. So you get a fair range of movement there for the front claws. That's about as far as the head goes up, but it can go down a little bit, and you do get some side to side there as well. Tail's jointed here and here, so you can get a decent belt back to that far. Gets you a little bit of movement out of the peg there where it's attached as well. So back to about that far, and collapsed all the way down to the body. And then you get some few different ranges out of it here. So that actually looks pretty good. Articulation here. And the back legs is the same as the robot legs, although this part's locked in here, so you just get the ball joint here. So you get some rotation, some up and down, and the same as the ball jointed feet. You get a little bit of range on these guys, although I really can't see you doing much with them. They're all attached on this panel, so you can hinge them all the way up if you need to. And then each leg has a little bit of up and down on it as well. Same on both sides. That's really about it for details and articulation in this mode. Of course, he has no accessories because the only accessory he came with was the tail, and it's attached to complete the alt mode here. Size-wise, it kind of depends on how you have him positioned, but in a neutral stance like this, it looks like he's about 5.5 from the back of the legs to the front of the claws. And just right under 4 inches from the top of the tail there if you have it in a neutral looking curve. And for some size comparisons, here he is next to the last deluxe we looked at from Rise of the Beast, the Wheeljack. And here he is next to the Beast Boys version from Kingdom. And I was going to use Scourge again, but I thought this would be a more appropriate size comparison for the alt mode. So here he is next to the leader class, Optimus Primal. So you can get a sense of scale there. And for some quick final thoughts, I mean, I think this guy looks pretty good. The details all over the body look great. I like the subtle shading for the purple, and I think it looks really good as in contrast to the dark gray. And then you got the silver for the accents and the claws and the tip of the tail. I think all come across really good. Specifically the details in the tail, which is nice that it doubles as a handheld weapon in robot mode. It really comes with no other accessories, but then again, I really don't know what kind of accessories you would expect with a guy like this. I think using the tail as a handheld weapon, although I don't recall ever seeing that in the actual movie, is a good implementation, so he at least has some kind of accessory when in robot mode. Articulation in robot mode is fairly standard fare. I mean, there's nothing groundbreaking here, but it's also not super limited either. And then the articulation you get in beast mode is about what you expect from just about any mainline beast mode. Of course, it's always going to run through its limitations, but I do appreciate how much articulation they were able to pack into the claws, and at least a little bit in the legs, so you can kind of pose him somewhat. And size-wise, I think basically he scales pretty well with all the other figures from the movie line. I know he kind of got limited screen time there, so it's kind of hard to compare, but from some of the scenes from the beginning with the Maximals and the end battle there, he looks like he scales fairly well, although from some shots, he looks like he should be a little bit smaller than other shots he should be about the size he is here. So all in all, I'm going to say size comparison, like, he looks pretty good. The transformation's nothing groundbreaking, but it's pretty simple, and it makes him easy to flip back and forth. Some pretty smart moves that they did there with the way the hands are molded and the way they fold up into the shoulder claws. I think all that looks good, and it makes it look like one solid piece. The clever use of the joints in the body and folding everything up and kind of compressing it makes a pretty convincing robotic scorpion mode. Of course, it could always be a little bit better, especially on a guy like this when you don't have to suffer from the limitations of swapping out heads, or when your alt mode basically uses all the same pieces as the robot mode that you have here. But all in all, I think he kind of gets a pass. I think he looks good in both modes, and he's just a fun figure to mess with. So all in all, I guess I'll say, if you like to look at this figure, or if you got a whole movie shelf going on anyways, I mean, I would probably go ahead and pick this guy up. I think he looks good for what he is, and he makes a good minion figure. If you got some kind of dio going or some kind of battle scene, you can definitely use these guys to pad out some of the scenery. And I just hope maybe in the future that they'll give us some in some other colors. And that's really all there is to say. This has been my review of the Studio Series 107 Predacon Scorponok from Transformers Rise of the Beasts. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button before you head out. Also, hop down in the comments, let me know what your favorite Rise of the Beast release has been so far, and if you hope they're going to do anything else in the future. As always, I'll leave at least one link down below where you can possibly pick this guy up at, and I'll also leave the links down below for our social media channels if you ever want to follow us on any of those and see what we got going on there. And of course, I just want to give a big thank you for you guys coming, hanging out, and listening to me ramble on about some of these figures. It really means a lot to me. But I think that's about it. Until next time, for the love of toys, we'll see you.